you don't have to hear that in the background.
Sorry.
I'm making this go live on YouTube. Got to remember, we've got to broaden than just ourselves. I always forget that.
We're public now on the
YouTube.
Okay.
I'm making this go live on YouTube. Got to remember, we've got to broaden than just ourselves. I always forget that.
We're public now on the
YouTube. Okay, how is Collapse doing that?
Sally, are you there?
I mute this. Is that what you said?
Hi, Earl.
Hey, how are you doing? Hey, Daryl. Hey, Sally.
How's it going, Earl? Nice to hear your voice.
You too.
Thank you.
Do you see the sound thing up at the top?
Sally, are you there?
Right there, yeah, click that. That way you don't hear it. Okay,
Hi, Earl.
you're good to go.
Hey, how are you doing?
So we're live.
I'm still here.
How's it going, Earl? Nice to hear your voice.
Oh, click it again.
Hmm.
Do you see the sound thing up at the top? Right there, yeah, click that. That way you don't hear it. Okay, you're good to go. So we're live. You can't pause it. You have to.
Can I do this one here? This,
Try it, yeah. There you go. There you go.
and then I can just move it.
Linda, your hair is like COVID fabulous long.
Oh my gosh.
Look at how long her hair is. That's amazing. It's stunning.
We have 4 attendees. Okay. Oh, I can't let him. Oh, okay. Okay. This is so fun. Earl's here.
Hey, Sally.
Hi. This is the first time we've seen you on camera.
Oh, I got a camera.
Oh, yay.
I think I'm gonna. I think I need to leave and come back in because I'm on like a delay or something. So I'm gonna leave and come right back in.
Okay. This is so nice. Okay, how come I'm upset? Okay. It's like a party, you guys. Oh, we're on YouTube. We're public. I shouldn't say that. It's like a wonderful gathering. Okay, what time is it? 5:01.
Okay, should we open the meeting, Sally?
Let's do it.
Okay, welcome everyone, especially our newest members. Lua Pritchard, so glad to have you with us. That's wonderful. And if you could just please tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be awesome.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet everyone today. I know some of you, but not all of you. So thank you for choosing me to be on the commission. I've been looking forward to this opportunity. So I'm the executive director of Asia Pacific Cultural Center, a 25-year-old organization, grassroots based, but represents the 47 nations that make up all of Asia and all of the South Pacific. So we teach about their history, their people, their culture, their arts, and their languages and foods and everything about them so that people can understand who we are as a people so we can all live and play and work together properly. So yeah, that's what we do. We're inside the schools, we're inside the government agencies, we're inside of the different organizations who call for us to talk about the countries that we represent. And then we're also in the public in our big events. So thank you very much for having me. I look forward to learning from all of you.
Thank you, Lua. We're so glad to have you with us. In addition to Lua, we have a member-elect, Sylvie Johnson, whose application is in process at this time. And I had the good fortune to meet with Sylvie when we were very actively working on the film competition, and she's got a very strong background in social media, but I'll let her tell you her story. So without further ado, Sylvie, welcome. And
Hi, thank you. Hi, everybody. As Linda said, my name is Sylvie Johnson, and I run a production company, video production, media production company called Blue Scooter Media. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I have photography, video, graphic design background, and I delve into the arts as well. I do some painting, and I have lots of artists in my family. I love art. I'm passionate about art and storytelling. I like to combine both. And I'm excited about possibly being on your commission, because I would really love to see your community, the Lakewood community, become more inclusive about art and bringing art into the different cultures of Lakewood.
Someone waiting.
thank you so much, Sylvie. And before we continue forward with our agenda, I'd like to draw your attention to the minutes from our October 5th meeting, anticipating that there are no corrections or additions to the minutes. May I get a vote to approve the minutes? A motion, rather.
I'd like to move to approve the minutes as they are, please.
And could I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. We have some really great folks who have renewed their terms with the Arts Commission, and they are Lonnie. Yay, Lonnie. So glad to
Yay.
have you with us again. Paige Hansen, yippee-ki-yay. Patty Bell, and I don't know if she's on the call, is she, Sally?
I don't see her yet. No.
Okay. And in addition to Patty, of course, we Carl. So thank you all for renewing your terms.
Hey.
We're most grateful for your service. And at this
Linda,
point, yes,
can I just interrupt? But Brianna let me know that not everyone's completed their training, the open public meetings training, and that needs to take place within 90 days. Paige, you did, of renewing, and it's quick and easy. And if you don't do it online, we'll have to do it during a meeting, which we're happy to do. You know, Brianna can come in and talk about that if we all want a refresher. But you all
So-
have the link.
I also
Okay.
looked at that, and I'm a trustee member of the Clover Park Technical College. And so wherefore I go through those trainings. So I wasn't really in a hurry about it, but if you want me to, I can go over it this week.
Okay. Well, like I said, 90 days. So you've got a little bit of time. Thank you.
thank you, everyone. And then we have some folks, students who are working with us, and they're going to be making a presentation on an art event. Sally, did you want to cover that and do some introductions?
Yeah, so I'd like to introduce Marcus and Kayala and Robin, who's on the phone. And they've been working with me since September, and they're strategic consultants with the University of Puget Sound Business School of Leadership. And I'll let you take it from here, but the gist of it was to possibly come up with some type of an art event that would be relevant to Lakewood and what we have, our population and our resources. So you may have the floor, consultants.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I'm with the group from University of Puget Sound. We are coming up with, we have until the summer to come up with a couple art events that Lakewood could possibly put on. We just finished the analyst case on the city of Lakewood, and so that's what we can discuss tonight. We are now moving forward with strategic options and such, and then we're going to talk about then possibly getting input from you guys. If you have anything specific you guys want us to possibly include in our final report that will be sent to Sally in December. So right now, all we have submitted, we sent over to Sally today. We were able to finalize everything, is an internal and external analysis on the City of Lakewood to what we should consider when we come up with strategic options for a possible public art event for the city. And I went with I studied the history of the City of Lakewood and everything like that. Ryan, if you want to talk about the internal environment that we went over for the case.
Hello. So I just want to confirm that I'm unmuted. And my name is Ryan DiCorso. I'm an international business student at the University of Puget Sound, and I'm a senior. And before I go into more detail, I just want to check with Sally. Should we hold off on giving more of the presentation until later in the meeting, or should we go now?
You should do the whole thing now.
Okay. So I've been working on the internal analysis of the City of Lakewood, where we do an evaluation of organizational structure, portfolio of strengths and weaknesses that Lakewood possesses. And then we take that, and it allows us to better calculate and determine what strategic options we may want to pursue, as well as identifying any holes or pitfalls that we might encounter along the way. So I worked on that component of the case. You'll see that under internal analysis. And then we did a RIO analysis, which is a organizational tool that helps assess different resources an organization possesses. So we gathered this information over the course of about 6 weeks working with Sally and then conducting independent research on the City of Lakewood and neighboring South Sound municipalities. And we're moving ahead with the strategic options that we will present later in December after completing some more research and then working with our classmates and further with Sally to hone in on what we think might be some good suggestions. And that about covers it for me. I'm going to hand it off to my teammate Marcus to cover the external analysis, which is what he focused on.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marcus McGuinn. So I covered the external analysis, and I was really focusing on external environment, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. Really looked in like the parameters and like some trends that other public art events had, or even museums. Like some of the bigger museums had different strategic options just still to bring in people into the art scene. And I feel like COVID-19 is a big factor. It's a big external environment factor, especially with public events or any large gatherings of such. I also looked at possible competitors since it's an art event, and we also want to highlight the different cultures in Lakewood. I was really focusing on competition events that really focused on arts and culture. And I found some really good information about things going on in Puyallup, such as the Daffodil Festival, the Washington Spring Fair at the fairgrounds itself, and shoot, I forgot the third one. My apologies. But I was really focusing on how they were planning their arts and how they included culture in everything, just in the entire festival itself. That was my focus with external environment. Kayla, did you want to move on to the next steps?
Sure, yes. So since we finally finished the analyzing the City of Lakewood and their strengths, weaknesses, and what we can possibly take from and help the City of Lakewood focus on, we're now moving forward with the whole looking at strategic options. A couple of them we are starting to consider is an annual mural fest or event type thing, as well as a public art festival and or public art events that are smaller events, but it's a giant festival of everyone in the community participating in the smaller scale events through the one day. And we're looking forward, we're going to be researching a couple of these events that could possibly could hold, and then recommending the top 3 and researching those mildly to see what and how you guys see Lakewood could execute them. And a couple questions I had was, do you guys have any events that you guys would possibly want us to look into, to like possibly suggest for you guys?
Well, earlier on our calls, you'd asked for different community leaders to speak with. And now we have one as an Arts Commission member, and it's Lua Pritchard, Asia Pacific Cultural Center. And they do many big events, as well as small events, cooking classes and dance classes. So I don't know if you had a chance to talk to Lua, but she's an incredible resource, and her events are local to this area, to Tacoma, Pierce County, and very much, completely focused on cultures. As she said, her organization represents 47 different nations. So if that is helpful, I think that would make me very helpful.
If she doesn't mind us reaching out to her in the near future, that'd be probably a great help.
Okay, I'll send your email now.
Just give me a call and email, and we can make time to have a Zoom.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk to you too. This is Susan from Lakewood Gardens.
Yeah.
I have some ideas.
Yeah. Yes, and I've been wanting to talk to Lakewood Gardens for a long time.
Talk to you too.
Yeah, we can relate very well.
I think we can.
Yeah.
At this time, we'd want to kind of open the floor for questions if anyone had some questions for us.
Well, I have a question. First of all, I just emailed out the document they sent me today. So you will all find that in your email. It was quite extensive, but as you said, it just is covering what you found to date. And then you'll drill down even more in the next several weeks.
Yeah, it's covering just the analysis of the city of Lakewood and strike weaknesses and what could possibly affect any event that we are suggesting to the city of Lakewood. And then the final report that we'll be sending to you in December will have the strategic options and the research on those.
Yeah, and I also sit on the Washington State Arts Commission, which we do a lot of public art. So I can hook you up to some of those resources as well. I might be able to give you some ideas on what to do.
Thank you. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's smart that you looked at the spring fair, because I think this team was looking at spring, because we don't have events in the spring right now for the city of Lakewood. And I haven't been myself, but I know it's really big. And of course, the Daffodil Festival. So those are two good ones to be looking at. And then Susan and Lua, I think, can give you more. But do any other events come top of mind?
So we have the Asia Pacific New Year celebration coming up in February. And then we have some stuff that we're planning on for March and April. So.
Yeah, and Lakewood Gardens has May Fest in May, obviously.
Right.
So Sally, do we have a budget for this event?
No. Yeah. That was part of the project, was to, well, my thought was to see if we could design it to get the lodging tax grant funds.
Mm-hmm.
Apply for that.
And we could also apply to some funding from Washington State Arts.
Oh,
okay.
If we can figure out what we want to do.
Yeah, I was just thinking that in terms of coming up with a series of suggestions, possibilities for the event, it would be good to know what the cost associated would be for each one of those options, so that I mean, some might be more in reach than others, and yet still have a really positive impact. But it would be it would be good to be able to know roughly what the price tag will be. That's just my 2 cents.
Was that part of your plan?
Yes, we plan to include the prices, like the around like the like around the ball, like what the prices would be for each of the options too, so you guys can realistically see which one would work best.
And what's the final date of the report?
The last date I think it's in like I think December 10th or something, some around those lines. I'm not 100% positive, but I know it's in early December that it will be finished by.
Okay. So you'd like to hear from members through email if they have suggestions, or is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that'd be great. If anyone has any suggestions, just shoot us an email.
Okay.
Do we have your emails?
I am going to, I'll send that out to everybody. Okay.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it'd be good to look at the calendar for the local organizations, because most of the organizations have their various festivals and events booked out through 2021 in the hopes that they can have them.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to add was I just, obviously we're all dealing with this new reality we have, but one thought is, and I'm sure that you guys are researching this already, but anything that happens needs to be predicated on like a longer timing, maybe an outdoor component, and also a limited audience. So like 10 people per half hour can come through, and the performers need to be hired, and they need to be hired for a whole day's work. So perhaps you're going to have maybe multiple troops of, people who aren't paid maybe as much as one band would be paid for a whole day. We can think creatively, we can make it work, but I'm very interested in how we can make people feel safe in their homes. The art will draw them out for whatever event, but it won't be we're going to have 2,000 people out. And I mean, I know I'm just saying what we're all thinking, but it's going to affect budget. It's going to affect not just budget, but more importantly, how you organize an event. So people have to reserve a spot, just like you reserve a restaurant table. And then we have to put, if we're going to provide blankets, or we have to let people know what they're going to expect. Everyone's a little nervous still about going out. We have to be so careful with how we do it. But I'm just dying for more events to be planned. So I'm very excited about it, for sure.
On that note, I should say that we got CARES Act funding, and we are buying thousands of feet of nice like fencing to cordon off different areas, as well as more wire fencing to form lines, and some big tents so we can do more outdoor covered spaces other than the pavilion. So those are new resources that we'll have that we didn't have the last time I talked to your team.
You're right about that, Paige, though, because we're having to think about things very differently from however we've done it before. In the past, it was like, how can we attract the most people possible to make this event a resounding success? And now it's like we're having to parse attendance in some way and still encourage people to attend, but to attend safely, and then have all these safety protocols in place so that they feel confident to leave their homes and enjoy the experience. So
and you have kind of a model in there when you look at these scavenger hunt teams, any kind of team event or thing that's throughout the day and throughout the city. Also, with regard to they do like the haunted tours at Nisqually. Those are all reserved. You reserve your spot, and you only show up when you're right before your tour, and there's only 10 people allowed per hour or whatever. So it can happen. You just have to be organized, really organized.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent everyone out a link to what I was really impressed by. Another Parks and Recreation department, in the Midwest somewhere, I think, did a very spontaneous art exhibit around COVID and how art heals. And, they got 90 submissions. They created a digital ebook that you flip through, and it had the artist picture and a quote from, quite a bit of writing from them about their piece, and they had prizes. But I thought, I would love to see us be that flexible. I would love to see our Arts Commission you know, that wouldn't take that much time or money. And this Parks and Rec department did it, and it was just a great success. So I think my big takeaway was let's be able to pivot and be flexible. And we have our work plan, but maybe we can do something more spontaneous as well. And we do have our 25th anniversary coming up in February.
Mhm. Okay. Then moving on, and we just touched on it, our 2021 work plan is due the 4th of January. And
You know, I don't want the analysts to have to sit on the rest of the call. Should we just say goodbye and thank them?
you know, that's a great idea. Thank you all so much for your time today. It sounds very exciting. Keep up the good work, and we'll look forward to what you have in store for us in terms of options. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. I look forward to presenting them in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you for the opportunity and for letting us speak.
You bet. Thank you. Bye-bye now. Okay, so Sally, you had sent out the work plan
Yes.
for 2021. Has everyone had the opportunity to take a look at that?
So as you know, every January, we need to present our annual work plan to City Council. And I just went through and updated it based on our last meetings. And typically this is what we would spend our retreat doing. And as you know, we've reformatted our retreat at Lakewald. And so we can spend time at this meeting doing this, or schedule a separate meeting that just focuses on our work plan. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
What is everyone's preference?
I think it'd be great
Sally,
if
what
we.
is what?
Sorry, go.
Go ahead, Earl.
So yeah, I mean, probably, you know, I'm open to doing the work plan during the retreat as well. You know, so because I think are we missing a couple of people right now?
Yes, Patty and Adriana and Phil.
And Phil.
Yeah, so I'm flexible either way.
Lua, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, suggest that also what Earl said is to do it at the retreat. Because we need more time to look at it some more and come up with some good ideas if there are any, or just get ready to vote on it.
Mm-hmm. So we do two things. We have another meeting in December. So we could spend 15 minutes on it today. We have another meeting in December where we could finalize it, and we could have another meeting in between. However, for the retreat, it's not going to be a working retreat. So I sent out an email that it's because of COVID and a discomfort level of really getting together safely. It's really almost impossible inside working at tables. So it is going to be a docent-led tour, thanks to Susan and her team. She has lined up a wonderful facilitator, docent to lead the tour, former park ranger. Is apparently kind of a celebrity in his own right and has a lot of humor. And we can pair up and social distance and walk through the gardens for 45 minutes. And then we'll have about a half an hour to have a little icebreaker and some appetizers. And then we're going to have a guest speaker. So what I did is I pulled the 3 elements. People wanted to bond. You know, I think our commission members really enjoy each other. We just don't have a lot of time to meet and talk. And so this would be very conducive to that. And then partnership building. Who can we partner with so that we're not working in a silo? And Susan, mentioned several speakers, one of whom I emailed you about with Bedlam Arts and Creative Forces, and they work with veterans and they use art to heal. So it's very timely. And then they will speak, and we'll be outside under very warm heat lamps, and we'll be on a social distance. So it's not going to be a traditional retreat. It's going to be kind of a thank you to all of you by giving you this free professional docent-led tour. Thanks again to Susan. And then some appetizers and some icebreakers, some bonding time, and then listening to a wonderful speaker. So the work plan doesn't fall into the format.
But when do we have to submit again, in January or February, to the council?
So
Or
it needs
work
to be
plan?
submitted January 4th. So
And we have another meeting in December.
Correct.
Okay.
And we could simply focus the entire meeting on that.
Yeah.
On the work plan, and maybe do a little work up to that point.
Okay.
How does everyone feel about that? Would you rather defer discussion to the December meeting to flesh out the work plan for the January 4th meeting with council? Does that work? Or do you want to take a stair-step approach, do some now at this meeting and finish up in December?
I think we should do a little bit now, just because, you know.
Yeah, we can start a little now.
Come fast. Yeah. Let's get some done right now. We might as well.
Okay, so as a group, we could read through what we have. Now, the caveat is we've got this team from UPS you just heard from, and what they come up with may really play into our work plan. You know, that is the hope. And we'll have that December 10th. So again, we'll need to have some flexibility and be able to pivot. But I know I was talking to a couple of members, and we were saying, you know, wouldn't it be nice to just really focus on a few great things rather than a bunch of small things? So with that in mind, for those of you who have this in front of you, we emailed it out. And there's just 10 items, so why don't I read through them? And it was just from what I remembered. And again, this is a draft, so this is up for change. But currently, or do you want to read through it, Linda, what we currently do?
Well, we have the MLK event. Our level of involvement, of course, is to be determined. Recruitment, of course, and retention. We're always in pursuit of new blood, and of course, retaining the good folks that we have. The Christmas tree lighting ceremony, Jingle Bell Dash, Candy Cane Lane event, rotating artists, and then some new things. The public art exhibit contest, the 25th anniversary, which will be February and summer of 2021. The public art signal box wrap creation and installation, and new art event. And this is what the UPS students are at this point in time attempting to pull together for us in terms of a series of options that we can draw from. And then, of course, the Summer Nights at the Pavilion outdoor concert series, a retreat, another retreat, and of course, the Joint Commission meeting. So those are essentially the 10 items. With regard to the 8th item, the Summer Nights at the Pavilion, so much good work had already been done previously to bring that to life. It seems to me that we could just sort of take what we weren't able to accomplish this year and have the same or a similar lineup for 2021. So I don't look at that necessarily as a stretch, but that doesn't mean that things don't change and we might not want to perhaps change up the lineup a little bit. But those are the 10 things at this point, okay?
So, Sally, the MLK involvement, you're already planning for that, right?
Right. Traditionally, there's just one Arts Commission member that's a liaison to the MLK committee, and they report back. Historically, the Arts Commission did the essay contest at the schools, and that is no longer happening. But there was talk about doing something new and fresh that was beyond just writing an essay, maybe so collage, maybe it was a video. So it could fall on us to come up with some type of contest around the MLK ceremony and then have it highlighted at the ceremony. So that's really more one person from the Arts Commission in dialogue with the MLK committee about it. And then we'd probably do the scoring and judging of whatever we ended up doing. Lonnie, did you have something?
Yeah, just quick question. Where does the Colonial Plaza art, is that a line item that should be in that group of 10?
You know, at this point, because we picked an artist and it's underway, I don't feel like we're doing as much.
Okay.
But you know, that is a good point. I think it should be on there. And the caveat to that is I do have some changes to report to you, but I don't have enough information yet. But it looks like we own the design now, but the artist is wanting to step away from the project for many different reasons.
Oh no.
Given us the go ahead to keep her design and implement it. But she has some budget concerns. So we're a little bit, you know, I'll report back when I have clear information for you, but I just want to be transparent that that is where we are now. But very much looking forward to still moving forward. But it won't be with Perry Howard, but it will be with her design at this point.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yes. And that was a very recent development.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can all see, you know, it was supposed to be completed next month and literally nothing's been done. So, you know, that would have been a problem in itself that we would have needed to address. So.
Okay.
Did we pay for that? Did we pay half of it? Remind me.
No, we no. We would pay back the artist as they incur costs. We do quarterly payments to them.
Okay.
I think we did pay for the design though. Yeah, we did. We paid for the design.
So to Lonnie's point, Sally, should we include that as part of our work plan? Because we're essentially back to square one. Or almost.
Perhaps.
Because we are without we're without an artist to fabricate this and install it.
So we're going to go ahead with the design, but not with the artist, correct?
You know, I will report back again. This is very new.
Understood.
And I think the city council needs to meet and my supervisor, Mary, and then I'll report back to you. But we want to get it going quickly. I think we'd love to see something happen for the 25th anniversary. I don't know if we can do that, but we have a lot of great artists that we saw their work, we know their work, and I think now that we don't have to go through that whole selection process, it'll be so much more efficient and easy because we've got the budget and we can say this is what we want, this is where it goes, and not have to do the entire vetting process over again. Yes, thank you, Lonnie. We'll put that on our work plan for sure. That's a good call. Because there'll be some type of unveiling around that. Absolutely. That will be happening in 2021. So we can put public art for Colonial Plaza and unveiling event.
Oh, I have a question and a suggestion about the work plan. Is this the same plan that you had for 2020?
The new items are in red. And no, also there was a film festival that
I
we
can't see red in here. So which numbers are red?
5, 6, and 7. And
Okay.
Linda, you can speak to the film festival that's not.
Yeah, there. Lou,
Can I just finish my question to Sally? And if so, that you had majority of these planned for 2020, did you have any trouble with working it together? Because we're a commission, and we come in and we have these big ideas and then leave you to do all the work a lot of times. So I just want to get your feeling on, is this something that, of course, I offer myself because I'm that kind of board member, but I don't know all the commission members right now, and their ability to help out. Did you have any trouble, producing and finishing, accomplishing all these things for this year? That's almost over.
Lou, if I can answer that question, we had some very ambitious goals, but unfortunately, the pandemic really was an extremely limiting factor in terms of our ability to move forward with a great many of them. Just either because of how the events in our mind were constructed, they were built around attracting a great number of people to participate, whether that be summer nights at the pavilion, whether that be the film festival or what have you. It was all about engineering broad participation throughout the community. So for us, it's been a real challenge. How do we reinvent ourselves as a commission, remain relevant in terms of being able to provide events that are still going to spark community interest, but yet maintain some, how shall I say, regard for safety and health of the community overall. So I hope that answers your question, but we've been in uncharted territory and we've been feeling our way. And I invite other members of the commission to chime in if you have your own opinion with regard to that.
Lua, I would like to say, you asked about 2020 and our work plan. Yes, this team was incredible. They're doers. And the best example was our Christmas event. It was just a parade, and they decided they wanted to do Candy Cane Lane. They wanted to have judging and have a big race and a contest and so on. And they single-handedly, well, as a group, built out that event and made it a huge success. And that was the work of everyone. No one person could have done that. And so I would say they are doers and they work great as a team. And the one thing that's not on here is that film festival, because we decided to revisit it in 2022. But Linda, I don't know if we'll need to do some work in 2021. So I needed to ask you about that.
So are there any things that we couldn't do because of the COVID situation that we can do again next year? There should be in this plan, and perhaps take some of this off or add more, or.
So the Christmas parade, I just see that, Linda, we'll need to make that we're doing a reverse parade this year. So we'll have no 5K, we'll have no vendors, we'll have no entertainment, but we're gonna have a reverse parade on Perimeter Road in Lakewood, where all the floats line up and people drive by and Santa gives out candy. And so that is easier, less and much less work for the commission and better for the community. So I'm just going to put reverse parade on that.
And that's scheduled for December 12th.
And did I tell you we're looking at moving the location, Linda and team?
Yeah, isn't it going to be on that perimeter road?
Yes, so I'm working with our PAI to get permission to do that. And it looks like it's a 99% go. They just need some insurance information. But yes.
Hey, Lonnie.
Yeah, quick question, just or comment on the title of all of that, because this year the Christmas tree lighting is separate from the parade, correct? So we just want to break that out. And then what's my Siri's talking to me. Sorry, I don't know what that is. Yeah. So, and then what's our involvement if with the Christmas tree lighting, because that is a different event.
That's a great question. So the tree lighting is going to be virtual, and Shannon Kelly Fong, the the assistant to the city manager who's taken over, our communications manager left, Bryn Grimley, and she's doing that work on top of her work, and she will film it. And actually, I think you might enjoy this. I think she's going to film each of the city council members saying a greeting, like Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, a greeting. Each member will do that. We'll have the virtual lighting, where she'll film it. And then I suggested having the Grinch, because he's become so iconic, kind of run across the screen or like follow me to the reverse parade and do a little promo for the reverse parade. And that should be coming out, I believe, Monday the 7th, Jason, the same night as the city council meeting. So there'll be like a week in between the two.
I'd love to talk about the idea we had about a possible busking event, if it is a good time to talk about that.
Sure, I think this is a time where we want to brainstorm.
Yeah.
If we want to add things, take things off, replace things.
So one idea I had was, when the farmers markets, when they go and we have entertainment while the farmers markets are going on. We have it, I think it was like 11 to 1 kind of a thing, middle of the day. So we don't want people to be gathering to see live music, which is, I'm finally wrapping my head around that one. But we had talked about, what about if you had like a busking event, which is more the idea of people are already walking around Wahop Lake, for example, and they're exercising. What if like the last Saturday of every month or second and fourth Saturdays at the park, there's busking, there's a band that is, paid to do busking, meaning limited electricity needs, a possible rain, like a pavilion option. I think there is like electricity, something over there that might be covered, so that people can just know there's going to be some live music in the park. It's very casual. It's a couple hours at the end of the month. So that was just kind of my thought. We just hire a band to do that twice a month. And, second and fourth Saturdays at the park, there's busking. It's not like a formalized, you grab a chair and you hang out. It's more of just you walk by and enjoy. And it's a way to get musicians out performing. And even, we have a limit on the number of people that can be in the group. It can be small. This isn't about attracting millions of people to sit and have a picnic. It's about busking, the idea of there just happens to be some music going on. And, there's lots of large areas in the park in Fort Silicon Park that have, grass and people can spread out. And there could just be a limit, you just please, there's no congregating, but feel free to find a socially distanced spot if you want to hang out for a bit and enjoy a couple tunes. So, I think we could do it, or not, I guess if you want to play it totally safe, you don't provide any performing people to attract anyone. I don't mean to sound like it's really a weird time,
But Paige, I thought that buskers, the whole thing with buskers is they just kind of showed up, they weren't paid, and that a busking competition would be, maybe, there's 20 spots around like Wahop, first come, first serve, you sign up, but you don't get paid. to show up, because you're a busker, you might just be a person playing acoustic guitar, and then people can vote on their fan favorite, and you could have prizes and things. But paying for bands seems very different than a busking event. Am I wrong in that?
No, I think you might have some people who come in and play their guitar for a competition. Yeah, sure. That's just different than what I was thinking. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I mean, you know, we already have for 2021, the Summer Nights at the Pavilion Outdoor Concert Series. We're hopeful that we're going to be able to go forward with that. But, you know, we're not going to know for certain until, you know, we're into 2021 and we see how things are evolving. I think the same way with the busking event. You know, we've got things at this point in time that we're hopeful that we'll be able to move forward with, but you know, we're not going to know until we turn the corner on 2020 and see where we're at, you know. So I wouldn't say no to a busking event. I mean, it could be, you know, could be kind of cool. Go ahead, Lonnie.
I have not heard of busking, but I love this idea. So here, and because I haven't heard of it, I have no context for this, so this may be totally out of left field.
Spell it?
Yeah, how does that spell, Paige?
BUSK.
ERS? Buskers?
ING. BUSKING.
So if it's precarious for the city to risk people gathering, let's just say, I mean, Paige, you're totally right. Like, you know, how do we handle that? Is there a way to put these musicians on golf carts? Maybe you can't gather, but you can, it's kind of like following the ice cream truck. I mean, maybe there's a funny interpretation here of music just spontaneously shows up at the dog park, or I don't know. I'm just brainstorming outside of the box there, but
that's very cool, honey. That's cool.
I love that. And I just want to say that the way that I'm dealing with buskers is I get calls at the farmers market and Summerfest, and there'll be a busker and they say, hey, do you accept buskers? And I say, yes, I love buskers. I love buskers, because they just come, they're pretty darn good, and they put out their tip thing, just like you see them at Pike Place Market. Okay. So it's that type of thing. And we've had incredible, but like a family, an Irish family that comes out with their little kids, and they're, you know, playing fiddles, and it's just the cutest thing. So I'm a big fan of busking.
Yeah, I actually really like this idea. I think I wasn't familiar with the term, but I think that's we could really expand upon that a lot. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I was just at Safeway at the Lakewood Town Center, and I got my groceries, and I was walking out, and some guy's playing his violin out in the parking lot outside of his car, right outside Crunch Fitness Center right there. And you know, and it really completely like changed my whole mood for the rest of the day. I was really appreciative for the guy just kind of being there and just enlightening, providing some sort of enlightenment, rather, you know, because everything's so strange now. You know, so I really enjoyed that. I mean, maybe perhaps we could do something that's almost a little bit citywide and not just at the park too, and if that was possible.
Well, and depending upon how things shake out, you know, if they can be stationary and we can increase our proximity to one another by the time we would schedule an event like that, that would be great. But if not, Lonnie's idea about putting them on wheels so that they are moving around this would-be audience is kind of inspired. I like that, Lonnie.
I could just say one thing. Traditionally, for those people who don't know about busking, the buskers like to collect money from the audience. They will have their containers waiting for money.
Yes.
Yeah. Their guitar cases open, right, Susan? Yeah, for people to put money in. Yeah.
If we're not paying them, they have to get some compensation.
But That kind of falls very neatly into what Paige was talking about, though, in terms of it being some kind of a contest. And if it is some kind of a contest and we're able to provide some kind of award for performer's choice, fans choice award or something like that, maybe they could get some funds that way, some kind of consideration for their efforts. So just an idea, just some thoughts.
Great idea. You know, two things. Buskers are really looking for places. So when you say come out to our park and we're not going to kick you out, I mean, they love that because it's an audience for them. They're doing what they love. Like you said, they put out their tip jar.
And even if we pay for them, we should still allow them to collect coins or whatever. I mean, it's up to the people, right?
Yes, and then secondly, I was going to say by nature, for the most part, it's just people passing by and like throwing the money in, and then they kind of stay a little bit, 1 or 2 minutes. You know, at Pike Place, you aren't staying around for 10 or 20 minutes. It's more a passing by. So in that sense, it's very conducive to COVID. You're passing by. And, you know, we had that one event at Wahop where we had kind of art stations around, and I had some people playing acoustic guitar like on the docks and in different locations. People loved it. So I think it has a lot of merit on a sunny day.
Yeah.
Or even in conjunction with another event.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, go to the farmer's market and then take a walk and listen to the buskers, or, you know.
Yeah. Is there any other ideas or suggestions for the 2021 work plan?
Well, mine wasn't so much a suggestion, Linda, but I was kind of curious, and I see Jason's here, so maybe he can kind of expand on this a little bit. We had a budget last year for the summer concert series. We were allocated a very generous amount for the concert series. I understand that last year is last year. What did council have in mind for this year? I haven't seen the proposals put forth for 2021 yet, but is there some hope there, Jason?
I think there is hope. Sally, perhaps you put together the budget proposal. We've seen it briefly. We're going to have a public hearing on it, all of it, a little bit tonight. But I believe it's the same. Isn't that right?
Yes.
The $20,000
yes.
for the concert series? Yeah.
I wrote a lodging tax grant for $20,000 and did a presentation.
Yeah.
And was able to show the great pictures and statistics from the year before, and it looks promising for the 20,000, but we'll know after the vote was cast.
Council's very bullish on these activities, Daryl, and we're very appreciative of all the work you guys are doing to put them together for the community. We've got the facility, we've got the goodwill, we've got the resources. Now we just got to get rid of this pandemic thing.
Yep.
So, more good work, please. You guys are doing great.
So Linda, can we circle back and talk about 5, 6, and 7 since those are new? I don't want to cover that.
So public art exhibit 25th anniversary, February, and summer 2021.
So the idea is that we'll do kind of a soft launch celebration the 25th for the anniversary proper in February, but then hopefully a bigger type of an event in the summer. And again, I was just inspired by that art exhibit that was done rather spontaneously. And we did one for the 20th anniversary and have wonderful art here hanging at City Hall. And I did talk to the youth council tonight. I said, you know, is that of interest to students, having an art contest, having a call to artists? But obviously it'd be something that we would need to design quite quickly, put a call out to artists, decide what the awards are going to be. I know the budget for the 25th anniversary, so we are not allowed to give monetary prizes because that's a gift of public funds, but another organization could that we partner with, or we get creative.
We could get our sponsorships together, perhaps, Sally, gift cards, other things, you know, maybe not. I mean, yeah, cash is king, but you can't give what you can't give. But we certainly have been very successful getting people to contribute gift cards and the like.
So I got some fun feedback, if you want me to tell you very quickly, from the Arts Council. Well, it's fresh. I just met with them an hour before this. Do you want me to share some of their thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, so they said for a theme, it should be talking about unity and the community coming together. And I explained how for the MLK ceremony, we're putting the title community, but highlighting unity. So it's unity. So
that's great.
That was interesting that they thought the same thing or had that kind of concept idea. And they said that Lakewood has the word wood in it, and trees are very symbolic of new growth. And when a portion of it falls off or dies and falls to the ground, it will regrow roots, and that new life coexists with the current life in the forest. And I thought that was really clever and true. We have our lakes and our woods, so talking about nature and the healing power of nature and how
kind of like rebirth and unity.
Yeah. So they talked about that. They talked about a family tree, the concept of having a family tree and having different cultures and people saying where they're from in that family tree, but it's kind of a Lakewood family tree. They talked about caring for each other and being mindful of being caring for each other. And just the idea that we're growing so much, but that we want to grow together and not grow apart. And they like the idea of an art contest and in all forms, not just drawing.
Okay.
But that's coming up quick, but I think we could do it. But we'll need to, I guess we could just digest that in this meeting and see if people really want to go forward with that for the 25th anniversary. But it seems like we should do something as the Arts Commission.
Yeah.
To come up with a theme. Yeah. And then the next one was the signal box wraps, and we talked about allocating the money we have, the $6,000. Linda,
I think the discussion was, Sally, that we could do 3 boxes roughly for that sum.
Yes, but I saw on Facebook someone was painting one, and I thought, well, that's probably a lot less expensive. And then they do a spray. So I think we need to do a little more research. But for the wraps, yes, it's about $2,500 a box. But I think we put together that little committee to maybe do a little more research.
Okay.
But that's new. That would be something new on the work plan. And then, of course, and possibly a new event that's proposed. So I think, it's like, does this feel like too much work, too little work, just right? Is it exciting for you all? Does it fulfill our mission?
Sally, what do you believe would be what do you believe would be necessary for us as a commission to be able to pull off a soft launch in February for the 25th anniversary? what would we need to be able to pull together? Because it seems to me that, you know, that's something that's going to come rather quickly. And whether, you know, it's like doing the call to artists, determining the sponsorships, you know, for the contest winners, well, excuse me, the sponsorship awards for the contest winners, pulling all of that together. I'm just, you know, wondering, you know, what would the scope be? And
yeah. And let me clarify that this commission wouldn't be responsible for the launch itself, but just a portion of, like, for instance, an art exhibit, an art contest.
okay.
I think the good news is with COVID, we don't have a hard and fast deadline. February would be nice. But, you know, when you think about it, you do a call to artists, you send it out in a day, you with your guidance and your theme, and then the submissions start coming in. The time consuming thing is going through the submissions. If in fact we're putting some out, maybe we don't. Maybe we hang them all up or put them all in a digital ebook and just have winners. So just taking the time to go through that.
So I guess that would be my question then. We wouldn't necessarily be responsible for procuring a venue to display these.
Correct.
They would be displayed virtually.
Correct.
And then according to the theme that was determined by the Arts Commission.
Correct.
And the Arts Commission would select the winners.
Correct.
And like I said, hopefully we would have gotten some sponsors so that we can provide gift cards or other things to the winners.
Right. And like I said, there is going to be a budget for the 25th anniversary. And so I can talk to Mary further about how we can not be the one to give the money, but, you know, somehow work with a nonprofit to make that happen in a way that's legal.
So would this all then be on the Lakewood City website?
Yeah, you know, we have YouTube.
Artistic submissions?
Yeah, the ebook, and I don't know much about ebooks. Lonnie, yeah.
Hey,
I'm
Lonnie.
just thinking, oh, can you hear?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, I just thinking off the cuff here. And like this kind of dovetails with rotating artists and everything else too. We can't get people together. How do you display some of these things? So online is a good idea, but there's, it does take some resources to do that. I'm wondering if the winner, could we have the winner be the kickoff of the box wrapping? Like, is there a way to have, the utility box wrapping, like the winner of some of this art, whatever this artwork is that we're coming up with, is going to be visibly publicly displayed on, whatever utility box at the corner of Bridgeport and 100th Street. Trying to pull it in another.
That's really intriguing.
Or a billboard, or yeah, something. So it's publicly displayed in a way that we can do it appropriate for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea.
That's a really good idea, Lonnie.
Because you want emerging artists. Student artists, that'd be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that might kick off the whole, we might be able to then dovetail in the, how do you get your artwork on our utility boxes? And we might be able to springboard a few different ideas there. So not that we have to come up with an answer tonight, but I think the whole how to publicly display art is intriguing right now. So, and online is a component of it, but you're not going to publicly get a lot of people that way, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. I did think, with our pavilion, that you could have the display in there, and all the, you know, the big door open, the side doors open, and you could have people come through, again, spaced out, and they can view it and just walk out the other side. You know, they can maybe go in a horseshoe shape and then walk out. And then it's all open air. And so that was a thought.
Well, and maybe to piggyback on what Paige had said earlier about busking, maybe you could have buskers at that kind of an event.
Yeah, I think they enhance any event.
Yeah, it would be kind of like a hand in glove proposition, something like that, perhaps. What do you think, Paige? You need to unmute.
If you wanted to keep numbers down, you could always say we've got space for 4 buskers, you know, so that way, you know, that way you wouldn't be flooded with people, you know, and you'd have specific spots for them, you know, groups of, you could have a number, 3 or less, you know.
That would create a really artsy atmosphere. Now, you could also tie it in with, you know, other events, because we're also getting these big 20 by 30 tents. So you could have some in the pavilion, you could have some in the 20 by 30 tents, and we've got several other tents. So you could really spread the art out.
So you're talking about online, offering it online through the city of Lakewood. And then in addition to that, having it as part of a event in February that would showcase the art in these 20 by 30 tents that would be open on the sides for people to walk through, and some busking.
I'm not necessarily saying February. Maybe that's in conjunction with the summer event.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just because of the weather.
Yeah, yeah, it's iffy. It's cold.
Yeah.
Potentially very wet and cold, but
yeah.
At any rate, I think we'd have, if we decided to do that, we'd have to land on a date and then work backwards from there in terms of what it would be that we'd need to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, we could kick it off on the anniversary. We could say, in light of the anniversary, we're kicking off this art contest. You know, we don't have to feel like this has to be done the day of the anniversary. Jason, do you have on that? I mean, that's how I feel. Like, in honor. Oh, I was asking for the 25th anniversary in February. I was saying we don't necessarily have to have all the artwork submitted by then. We could launch the art exhibit contest that day as part of the anniversary. We launch it and then have people submit everything, because the reality is people aren't going to be seeing it in person anyways. And that would give us more time, and it's kind of a fun thing to propose. So if we needed to take the pressure off, if we felt like, I mean, we could work towards that date, but if we felt like, hey, this actually isn't going to come together, let's launch it in February as part of the birthday, we could try that.
This would be for people to submit, you know, art from the call for potential projects.
Call for art is for students and adults. We probably have 2 categories.
Might be kind of nice to kick it off in January and then have the city display it on their website and do a really nice posting of all the pieces of art, kind of like a Zoom collage almost of the wonderful pieces where people could click on it, learn more about the student, or as part of the celebration of the anniversary, if there was a theme or something like that.
I mean, I think it's realistic that mid-December we could have a call out. It's realistic that people could start submitting in January through the end of January, and that we could view all the art and get it together the first 3 weeks of February.
So it would seem to me, though, that we would, as a commission, we'd have to decide on the theme.
Correct.
You know, that if we wanted the artists to submit according to a particular thought, ideal, or what have you, we need to have some consensus of opinion as to what that would be.
Absolutely.
Can we have the theme just be centered around the 25th anniversary of some sort, celebrating Lakewood's 25 years?
Earl, it needs to be more inspiring than that. No, I'm teasing him, but I do think we need to. I love unity. I think that we've all been
I
very
like unity.
last year of what's been going on in the world, and right now is an important time that we emphasize the fact that we need to unite together, and we need to bury the divides. We need to recognize our privilege. We need to end systemic racism. I mean, there's so many thoughts we've all had, and we need to inspire artists. And I want to again say, please allow performing artists to submit songs or dances. We need to extend beyond visual art, says the performing artist, because I mean, that's what I provide. And that's what I want to see, an original song someone wrote, an original piece of choreography. And unfortunately, what right now everyone's having to become filmmakers too, which is really stressful for people who are not filmmakers. I'm not, but I still would like to perform my art for people. So let's do something on unity. Let's do something on ourselves.
I like that.
I think that's
great.
great.
Thank you, Paige. And I like that we have youth council members on the call, and again, they said unity and growth, community, unity, coming together, growth and growth.
Unity, caring for one another.
Growing together.
Raising each other up.
Yeah, I something that, I agree.
So we could play around with that. And
yeah, I like it.
Hey, Lonnie.
Submit their ideas.
I just have one kind of, again, random comment with regard to student work. And I'm not a teacher, so I really don't know if this could go 50-50 in direction here, but the schooling right now is so crazy with the whole being at home. So arguably, students would have plenty of time to be able to focus and work on a proposal in a short amount of time. But the flip side is teachers are having a really hard time getting students to even log on, be engaged, not be playing Xbox or messing around on their telephones, while they look like a little tiny circle on a big screen with no, not logging in with video. So I don't have a good answer on that, but I think that's, if we were talking about calling for student art, COVID's going to affect that in some way. So, and maybe when Adriana's back, since she's got a little bit of a pulse in the school, well, we should address that maybe when we're together for the retreat and just talk a little. And I'm happy to talk to the teachers that I know and ask them, like, well, what do you think? Could you pull that off or not?
Kayala and Angel, since you're students, do you have any feedback on that? Can you unmute and talk to us about that?
Oh, wait, let me turn on my video too. So I think that is kind of true because there's not really like a lot of student participation in schools, but I feel like if you did talk to the teachers and the teachers like made it an assignment, because I know like students will do anything for like extra credit in the class, I feel like they would be like more willing to participate.
I agree, and I agree with Kayala, and I do know that the district did have an art competition recently. It was for the month of the summer, and it ended, I believe, the end of October. And I don't know what the participation looked like for it, but I do know that some people I know personally did participate. So I don't know if it'll be a total lost cause, but I do agree that COVID might put a stunt on some participation levels on for the competition. But yeah, I agree with Kayala in that making it an assignment will definitely encourage participation.
Thank you, that's so helpful. And I think it wouldn't limit it to students as well, right? It would be for all community members.
Mm-hmm. Hence unity, everyone, open to everyone, very inclusive. Okay.
Angel, did I get your theme right? You were the one that mentioned that about the trees and the woods.
Yeah, I think that you got you have the gist of it for sure.
So at this point, is it right to say that in terms of the items that we've discussed, do we feel confident that that is enough, that we're on the right track, that we haven't overlooked something that maybe might be more important that should supplant what we've got? What's everyone's sense?
Oh, I have to, Madam Chair, I have to go to another meeting because for some reason I had this meeting for 1 hour only, but I'll be better next time. So, but I'm all for I don't have to wait till the next meeting to okay what we have as a work plan. That's why I asked the questions earlier so that I can kind of feel where we are going and things like that.
Thank you so much, Lua.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay.
Before
Everyone else?
people leave, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sally.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure that we have an RSVP from everyone on this call to attend on Sunday. Because is everyone thumbs up going to be there? On the 8th.
I'm really looking forward to being
Sylvie, you're invited. Good.
Dress warm.
Daryl, are you able to attend?
I'm still undecided on that.
Okay. I guess my worry is I don't want to, have a speaker come and a docent come and have a poor turnout. I do consider this like a retreat, which a retreat would be mandatory. But hoping that everyone wants to join. Lonnie, are you in? Yes. Jason.
I'll be there.
Earl. Angel and Kayala, are you thinking of attending?
Yes, because I heard the times and I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I personally am not sure if I can go because my mom does have work and I wouldn't have a transportation method to get there. So, but I'll have.
Well, in the interest of moving things along, because we have run over at this point in time, but it was time well spent because the time taken today means we didn't have to carry a lot of this forward to December. So thank you all for your patience. We will have elections coming up in January for those who are interested in running for president or, president chair or vice chair of the Arts Commission. There'll be information coming forward so that you can put forward put your hat in the ring, so to speak. Sally, can we defer the Joint Commission meeting recap?
We can defer all the rest, yes.
Okay, and Sally has already graciously gone over what's planned in terms of the November 8th retreat. And Susan, special thanks to you for your work in organizing the docent, the speakers, and of course, the beautiful grounds of Lakewold Gardens. I know that so many of us are looking forward to that event, so thank you. Static Parade, I think we've already touched on that as well. If there are individuals, groups, and others that you have a special connection with, either because you recruited them in the past to participate, please reach out to them. Again, the application for the Static Parade is online, and do encourage them to apply. We don't have Adriana on board right now, so we're not in a position to get an update from her. Sally, are you able to pinch hit for her? Is there anything critical?
Yeah, we have all the interviews have taken place except 2 for the birthday ceremony. And we're really focusing on having cultural leaders from each different group in Lakewood give a short 30-second talk on unity and how to come together, as well as students who are doing the same thing. So it's really coming together nicely. Sylvie here is our videographer and has done an amazing job. And Sylvie, you're invited for this Sunday.
Well, excellent. Okay. And I can't think of anything else at this time myself. Does anyone have anything for the good of the order? Okay. Well, thank you all for your time this evening. Good luck to you, Jason. We wish you all the very best in this contest tomorrow. And thank you all for your participation. And have a pleasant evening, everyone.
Thank you.
See you all.
Be
See you
safe,
on
everyone.
Sunday.
See you. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
That was really tricky.